Hi everyone, my name is Caitlin and happy Mother's Day to everybody. I'm recording this on May 13th, 2024. And I've been inspired by my mother who crossed over in 2019. And I've just been thinking about her, how much I miss her. And I've been really exploring these last few years more of my own divine feminine energies. And I picked up a book recently that I read many moons ago, and it's Jamie Sam's book, The 13 Original Clan Mothers. And I read this such a long time ago, and I never realized the connections that are in this wonderful book with astrology alignments. And I've been exploring astrology now for a couple of years, really intensely, and have just been certified as a quantum soul guidance practitioner in galactic astrology. So this book spoke to me in a completely different way. And I have many wonderful students that love when we do programs. And I just felt it's time for a class that emphasizes the divine feminine. So we begin in May, in the 5th month in the moon cycle. And here is a picture of the beautiful clan mother. Let me back up so you can see it. And her name is Listening Woman. And she's the 5th moon cycle of May. Look, Jamie Sams made this wonderful totem shield to represent this beautiful clan mother. So when we gather for the classes, the first one again will be May 13th. It'll start at 6:30. When the weather permits, we'll be around our fire circle. And so if you want to contact me, if you live in the Cleveland, Akron area, you'd be able to come join us in person. It will be an in-person only class. But hoping that those who may see this may be inspired to join us. And then we will have one a month. I don't have all the other dates planned out yet, but I will let people know who are interested. So I want to begin by just telling you that in the beginning of this class, we will be doing sharing. I'm very much about going into questions and then discussing together as a group. And I intuit. I have a wonderful guidance team that will give me questions that will relay to whatever I am teaching in that moment, be it Reiki, astrology, whatever it is. I get guided all the time. And so we will be doing that at the beginning. And then I'll be reading the story, excerpts from the story that Jamie Sams has put in this wonderful book. So I'm encouraging everybody who is going to be in the class to get the book, checking on Amazon or wherever you like to buy your books. And you will not be disappointed. It is a treasure. And she has all of these beautiful clan mothers in these totem shields in the book, which I'm going to try to create a beautiful collage with to have in my own home. So without further ado, I'd like to begin reading about the first clan mother for us that we're going to discuss, but she is in the 5th one, and she's associated with, astrologically, the Taurus energies, and her name is Listening Woman. And we begin by entering the stillness. Listening Woman remembered the first human experience she went through when she came from the spirit world to walk the earth. Many moons had passed since then, and yet the sweetness of that first moment was alive in her memory, giving her comfort amidst the all-consuming tasks she faced being an advisor and counselor to her human children. Her senses drank in the smells and the sensations of that long ago time, allowing her to float back into precious memory of her first awakening. Listening Woman came into her human form in a giant cavern where the blackness was complete. Eyes open, she was surrounded by total darkness and vast nothingness. She did not know that her human eyes could encompass the beauty of the natural world. She was enveloped in the scent of damp earth, a faint, acrid smell of growing rock formations, and the clean, sweet perfume of her own body. In the darkness, she felt her human flesh for the first time. Reveling in the sensations of smooth skin and pliant, well-formed muscles, she touched her head and was surprised at how her hair softly covered her shoulders, falling below her hips like a mantle to protect her from the chill of the cavern. In the deep darkness of the cavern, the guardian of inner knowing could hear the slightest movement of her hand, the gentle rasp of her breath, the dripping of water droplets, and the rustle of her legs against the cave's floor when she shifted her body's position. She drank in every sound as she moved and touched her feet, toes, ankles, and shins, marveling in the magnificence of the human form she had inherited. As Listening Woman stretched her body and found the ways in which she could position her form, she discovered gurgles coming from the organs within her torso. "Mother, I do not understand this sound and the ache in my middle. I feel like something is missing, and yet I know that the great mystery created these beautiful human forms in wholeness. What do I need to learn?" The Earth Mother's voice filled the mind and heart of Listening Woman as she answered her daughter. "These sounds are a part of the human body, child. Sometimes these gurgling sounds mean that the body is digesting the fuel that is needed to give the body strength. At other times, the rumbles mean that the body needs sustenance to maintain its stamina. You are feeling the ache because there is a hunger for the food your body needs." The Earth Mother spoke to her daughter, explaining that a basket of food had been placed in the cavern, very close to the clan mother, and that by using her sense of touch, Listening Woman could find it and feed herself. The stillness was interrupted by the reverberating sound of liquid dripping from the ceiling of the cavern and hitting a large pool of water behind her. Listening Woman learned how to cup her hands and take the water to her lips and drink. At one point in her process of reaching into the water, the clan mother encountered a small stone. "I am a rock person who holds the libraries of all that has passed on Earth Mother. Together, we can approach the outside world, learning what you need to experience in order to fulfill your mission. You have already begun that journey by learning the language of your body's needs, how to hear the Earth Mother's voice, and how to listen to my words. Here in the darkness, you are beginning to develop the skills of understanding that make up many levels of sound without sight, taste and touch without visual contact, and feelings without outside confusing influences. These encounters with your abilities of perception will allow you to hear the truth in every situation you encounter in physical life. The darkness of the void of the unknown will be comforting to you, and the answers you seek will come through your ability to learn them." And the stone person who called himself Hagalith, Old Man had introduced her to Ant, who had taught her the medicine of patience. Ant had spoken of the wisdom of taking time needed for her eyes to adjust to the light that filtered into the cavern. The brightness of the outside world grew as the clan mother and Old Man spent one sun and sleep closer to the entrance of the cave, allowing Listening Woman to keep her hearing abilities. Then she blended her talent of listening with the new experience of sight. Her excitement at seeing new colors and forms nearly got the best of her in those first-sighted moments. The urge to rush into discovery had to be curtailed for her to maintain physical, emotional, and spiritual balance. Now, many moons later, Listening Woman was happy that she had honored the wisdom and harmony that had allowed her to emerge from the cavern into the outside world in a balanced way. In those early times when she encountered other human beings, Listening Woman was able to develop her gifts of inner knowing because humans had not yet developed speech. The human tribe spoke Halowayan, the language of love. This nonverbal language expressed the heart of any matter a two-legged needed to communicate. In silence, the observer had to watch and note the expressions, movements, and feelings being shared by the one who was communicating. To receive the wholeness of any message, the listener had to focus on the person's communicating without interjecting or interrupting. Listening Woman had mastered the art of hearing the language of love and oftentimes heard the thoughts of others through her ability to access their inner knowing as well as her own. Listening Woman had developed the gift of being a true observer by entering the stillness of her own being and having no preconceptions while she listened to others, observing every movement of their bodies and every crescendo or cadence of their voices. The clan mother could easily see if the speaker was nervous, hiding something, or merely shy. Over the passing of seasons, Listening Woman earned her role of being the keeper of discernment. Every feeling of warning that issued forth from her navel, the feeling center of her body, sent shockwaves through her sense of well-being and allowed her to discern who to trust and with whom she needed to exercise caution. A light began to emerge in the darkness of the void, leading Listening Woman to a brilliance she had never encountered before. The light was made of multicolored bursts of flame that changed with the cadence of the voice that spoke from the center of the fire. Listening Woman felt a lump rise in her throat and tears sting her human eyes as she discovered the voice of her Orenda, her higher self. She had ventured beyond her human form, yet she could feel every emotion and subtle change in her body. She heard the sound of her throat trying to swallow, the crackling of the twig fire, the almost imperceptible sob caused by her joyous tears, and the voice of her spiritual essence, her Orenda. In her state of heightened awareness, the clan mother understood all of the steps of her passage and how each and every lesson had brought her to this moment of personally realized wholeness. The voice of her Orenda was the welcoming voice that signaled that she had come home to her true self. An overwhelming rush of emotions rocked her body with feelings of gratitude, satisfaction, permanence, humility, wonder, nurturance, belonging, achievement, and the desire to know more. She was taken aback by the beauty of the eternal flame of love that held the Orenda's voice dancing in her mind's eye. In a heartbeat, she was aware of the Earth Mother's nurturance of her physical form and the great mysteries, loving protection of her spiritual essence. The two worlds of spirit and of tangible substance had become one inside of her. She heard the harmony of creation issue forth from the center of her being, singing the music found in all spheres of life. Every life form had a melody intricately harmonizing with all the others. Listening Woman asked the voice of her Orenda if there were some way that she should direct her human children, and the voice of her Orenda replied, "Teach them how to listen to the voices of the natural world. Call upon Hawk, who is the messenger that carries those words of wisdom to assist you. Call upon Ant for the compassion whose medicine is patience, and the wisdom of Armadillo, whose medicine shows them how to keep the feelings and troubles of others out of their sacred spaces by using healthy boundaries. Show the human beings that listening abilities of rabbit and how he teaches his medicine of not listening to unrealistic fears. Point out the medicine of mockingbird, who teaches two-leggeds the gift of recalling and repeating all they have heard. Call upon ferret to use his medicine of ferreting out the answers by using deduction and reason. Porcupine can assist your children by teaching them the medicine of faith and innocence. They will need to have faith in their paths, their abilities, and their connections to the great mystery, as well as the kind of innocence and humility that keeps the limitations of skepticism and arrogance from daunting their progress. Now it was time for the clan mother to enter Taiyou-wei. Taiyou-wei means stillness. And listen to the words of a young woman who was struggling to understand her dreams and the messages she had received. As grandfather's son rode low in the sky nation, listening woman helped the young dreamer to interpret the symbols and spoke wisdom she had gathered from her visions. Listening woman showed the younger woman how to ask herself leading questions that would enable her to find her own answers. The tools that the clan mother used sparked understanding, always asking the young woman to think, to remember, to feel, and to honor the still inner voice that insisted that the dreamer hear the truth inside her own heart. Listening woman would listen to the girl and then ask, "How did that make you feel?" Or "What did the creature seem to be teaching you?" In every instance, when a person seeking counsel felt safe and like she or he was really being heard, the inner knowing would shine forth. Listening woman found herself becoming a reflector for those seeking assistance, always recognizing that at some point all of her children needed to be reassured. Some were frightened of the stillness. Others were afraid of the darkness of the void. Still others were scared of what they might hear because they had been denying the truth inside themselves. Each member of the human tribe was an individual who had to follow the path to wholeness that suited him or her. But all of the human tribe would have to discover inner hearing before those paths would reach the wholeness they sought. Hearing the voice of their own highest self was the manner in which all humans would eventually realize their potentials. Without that ability to listen to their heart's desires and inner truths, they were lost. Listening woman taught them that the first step on every individual path was learning to listen to their bodies and to each other with respect. Later, they were taught the skills of listening to nature, then out how to hear and interpret the unspoken messages of the natural world and the voices of the ancestors that could ride on the wind. Further along the paths to wholeness, the children of earth learned how to listen to their own spoken words, comparing what they actually said to the truth found in their Arenda's voice. This step was a weeding out process that struck at the heart of the limitations and illusions found along the red road of human life. The children of earth will heal their wounds and find the same joy that you have cradled in your heart, self of myself. There is more inner peace available with each passing season because more members of the human tribe are discovering their way home. The love is returning. As that flow of life increases and the two-leggeds find the eternal flame of love inside of themselves, halo way on, the language of love will return. They will once again be able to hear the pureness of each other's hearts and understand the harmony of creation that the great mystery has given as a legacy of peace. All life forms will live together as one and will support all others without judgment or exception. Listen. Can you hear it? Now is the time of the return of the white buffalo. It is time to set aside your fears and to join us in the quest for wholeness and unity. Children, call to this grandmother, listening woman, who can teach you the harmony of your heart's inner peace. Listening woman now sat in the stillness and listened. The emerging voices that were calling her name came as no surprise. The time for humans to listen and to reach for spiritual wholeness, discarding separation and limitation, had finally arrived. And so it is. Thank you, Jamie Sams. Again, this book is such a treasure. So encourage you to get it, to find it. And if you live in our area, we're in the Cleveland, Akron area, please contact me. You can join us. Again, we begin tomorrow night, May 13th, 2024, and 6:30 p.m. You can contact me at universallight@att.net. That's my email. Or put a message. I hope you subscribe to my new channel, Bhakti Galactic Healing. I had to think about the name of it, is the name of my new channel. And would love to have you be part of the family. Thank you so much for watching. Hope to meet you.